tempo doesn't quite match what you have in Meteor. Like, once Pudge has Vanguard, you don't really kill him. You're like mainly physical. Your magical output not going to feel too amazing as well. And as you take damage, as long as Sun Wumar Blue is around on that support Visage, I mean, he's going to soak up and just spam Soul Assumption every time.
Oh, could be an early team fight to break out here, John. Smoke's broken. They're going to see Meteor, but do they want the fight? iG.V, they back off for a moment. It seems like they're more than afraid at the moment as the Fisher is going to be a very nice block onto Totoro. The Tiny, he even pops his Fairy Fire, but it's just going to drop as they just continue. They're onto M now. They've got the Pudge down. Who keeps going, though? iG.V, they seem like the stronger team to keep this fight continued. And Mar Blue dropping extremely low, needs to back off, but another nice Fisher from Molasses going to allow SJ to go down. They are still trying to chase down this Visage. Mar Blue does eventually fall. A 2-for-2 trade in this team fight. Many heroes just have to run back towards the fountain now. And God only knows who's taking bounties. DQQ is still fighting, by the way. It's trying to secure the bounties. It is going to be a 2-for-2. And already a 2-for-2 start in terms of kills.
I mean, that's what you expect with these lineups, right? Like, these kinds of drafts are super aggressive early on. You do want to see that action to break up. You want to see the contestants come out. It is a little bit better coming out here for Meteor as they get the first blood bonus. And they start to ramp up a little bit. We can see the effect of having the Visage around in these kinds of games. And it's a little bit surprising that Sun Wumar Blue is the one playing the Visage. So Molasses switches to what seems to be the support role now. And maybe, again, your Visage player on hand is Mar Blue is much more comfy than Molasses. So we'll see how that affects things here.
Is that always the way it is? Like, the support player is going to play the micro heroes every single time? I guess to be fair, he played Lycan last game, but Lycan's not really... I don't feel like Lycan's a micro hero, John. Honestly, like, if I could play Lycan, I feel like anyone can play Lycan.
Yeah, but you think about Lycan, the most effective Lycans know how to use their wolves to scout, wolves to block, right? Like, someone like, say, Saberlight, I think is a good counterpoint to that, where, yes, you can play Lycan without worrying too much about the micro, but you lose out on a lot of its utility when you don't manage to maximize the wolves.
How dare you assume I don't do those things already?
Well, you're saying, oh, but I don't micro. Oh.
I'm saying I can micro.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sure. I believe you, Mike. I got it. You got my bad, OG.
I'm sure you too, John.
My bad.
Yeah, how's these damn side lanes going? Like, bottom lane, the CK's having a free time by the looks of it. Yukio just has a full creep wave underneath his tier 1 tower because Meteor, they pulled the creep wave away to their own tier 1, so trying to reset creep equilibrium Meteor Gaming's way. Looks like they'll be able to get away with it just fine. Which I'll tell you, John, is one thing I hope might change in this new patch, right? Like, these creep shenanigans are getting a bit too ridiculous now.
Yeah, they are. I don't know if we'll see that change. That's a huge fundamental change for teams to potentially trust in 6 days before a major. So, you know, it's a big patch, but do you change something as fundamental as that? I don't know. Who knows?
Yes, screw. Who cares? That's your job.
I'm looking forward to it.
You'll be fine. Totoro? He's going to be all right. This is what I mean, John. Like, you know, these pro players, they make us adapt as casters all the time. Why can't they adapt? It's their job to play the game.
That's true. That's true. We'll find out if 6 days is enough to adapt well. Now I'm sure Purge will have his 20-hour video when the patch drops, going line by line and contradicting himself at least 50 times. God bless Purge. I miss that guy.
I mean, he's working right now, Jonathan. You can't miss him too much.
That's true. Me. That's true. He's rocking a more bad boy look too. He looks a bit different. There's something about the way he's posturing. It feels like, hey, I'm bad. I know what it is. He's been doing some weird stuff in the off time. Still, game after that first blood of the ruins has been a little bit more static. The lanes are holding steady. It is coming out a little bit better from iG.V, which is to be expected with their lanes. Right, like, it's a DP against a Pudge. It's not that tough for the DPs to still feel good there. You're not really lining up for those glimpse hooks too often. It's a bit of a, you know, not the most straightforward way of running the Pudge here. And your mid matchup is still really good for Totoro. He's managing to cut off. Like, every time you see the charge onslaught, you hear that sound, you just toss Avalanche, you're safe. Tramples up, toss him up in the air and run away, no problems.
Easy.
So it's not really that big of a concern for Meteor, but I think the big thing is that Marblu's off to a pretty slow start. Look at his CS, 4-1 on Visage. That is not a good sign. This hero needs a lot of early farm, a lot of early levels. You're not quite finding it. You have a greedy 4 in Shaker as well. So if your Visage is off to a slow start, then your Shaker's also not going to... He's just going to be dreaming of that blink.
I guarantee you Molasses is sitting there as well, just counting every CS he misses. You know, he's like, this is why I play Pod 3. This should be my Visage.
I like these assumptions, Mike. It shows a deeper dive into the Michael Phoenix mindset. I like it.
Oh, so that's what I'd be doing. I do it all the time. Like every time I've had to play in Romania with T Panda, I count every single time he misses. This is Marblu. He's copying a lot of damage here down bot lane. Nice body blocks as well from SJ. Should eventually just lead to a kill as Marblu stick charges up. We'll try to slow them down, forcing SJ to take the kill instead. But now they can just move back and onto Molasses. Rift is there, stun was out, and this time around, Yukio will be able to secure his kill.
Yeah, the bot lane's not a fantastic lane, right? We talk about the conditions here. You have to block for the fissure and try to spam out. With Soul Assumption, he's maxing out the Grave Chill, which it works in lanes where you have follow through.
They're trying to take down the Pudge. M's gonna have the fleshy pop, so he won't take too much damage out of this. His farm's going okay as well on the Pudge, 22-1. Considering the lane he has, not too bad of a laning stage thus far for the Pos 1 Pudge. The problem is, you look at Tax on the DP, he's having such a good time.
Yeah. Tax is set to go for the early earn as well into the Spirit Vessel. That's going to make short work of the Pudge. Just amplify the output onto the hero, make it feel a lot squishier. Good Ruin contestation here from iG.V. SJ might pay with his life, though.
Yeah, he will. Trample will be more than enough here from Echoes to get the job done, and he'll get a bounty rune for his trouble anyway, so not too big of a deal. Even considered rotating down bot towards Yukio, but without the spells up, you're probably not going to bother. He just backs off into the mid lane. It's one big difference we tend to see between regions, right? Because I feel like a lot of Primal Beasts will start rotating prior to the level 6 mark, but it seems like he's going to wait till the level 6, and well, here we go. Level 6 up, he'll rotate up towards the top lane. He has the Pulverizer available. Not anymore, he doesn't. Avalanche is out, Totoro has rotated, Echo's forced the onslaught away. And I suppose TZ's going to be the sacrificial lamb here. Eventually, that is Totoro going to run into it. And TZ, oh, nice body block, rather nice tree block. He's actually going to work out.
That's
so fun fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, John, fun fact for Echoes, you cannot pulverize while Glimpse is happening because it breaks it.
Yeah, that a little bit of miscommunication, Echoes. All right.
The tree throw, it's going to be enough.
Oh, no. Okay.
He's top CS, by the way. Top. Hook is there onto Tax, but Tax will just Spirit Siphon. M's taking not really too much damage, but he basically gave Tax a free reset.
Yeah, this is a little bit awkward for Meteor. It's almost like the same issues from game 1 here, Mike. It's disconnected somehow. Like, they make these moves, they jump in, they don't coordinate their spell usage. They need to be able to coordinate that spell usage, right? Like, you can't break off your initiation like that.
What? He just onslaughted into Totoro. There's also the backup of the Tusk. Luckily for him, though, Totoro not feeling too confident to keep going. There will be a little bit of a rotation here from TZ, looking for the range and the glimpse, but he's just barely out. A couple pixels away from getting that glimpse off. Really upsetting here for TZ. Echoes just back to the farming game.
Yeah, they've got to try to get that farming game going. I mean, the biggest hurting point right now is really Marblu's lane. This Visage, man, he's 2k gold, only 400 above Molasses. He is severely behind on Visage. This timing on His Wraith Pack is going to be pretty damn late. And he might just die again if he's not careful.
Well, they've lost tax, though. This time around, the rotation from Echoes does pay off, so they get a massive kill onto the DP. Yukio trying to close the gap for maybe a bit of a stun to be thrown out, but won't be able to quite get there. He has gone the more farm-orientated build in terms of skill build here for the CK, so he's trying to maybe pick off Molasses, but Molasses will just kind of stand away and try to be safe as instead top lane there is going to be a rotation now from Totoro. Mind you, he wanted to get the Pudge, but is going to have to settle for the Disruptor instead.
Yeah. Bit of a missed opportunity. You're still happier on Meteor for killing off Tax earlier on. I mean, who wouldn't be happy about killing Tax? But it doesn't really slow down iG.V. You've gotten what you want from lane. You're just building into the Spirit Vessel. You've got your Urn charges finally up for Tax. And now you can go into that push on the tier 1 as well. So you can finally find that objective trade. Inside of Meteor, they do have 6 up on Mar Blue, so they can pressure down bot, go for their own push now as well, and equalize the map. At the very least, your Visage does have more impact now with the Familiars up and running. You start to have more play. You also have the Book flying out for TZ. That should be close to bringing him to 6, if not giving it to him outright. So the threat of Static Storm does increase the teamfight potential now for Meteor. And the side of iG.V do have to respect that a little bit here.
T1 Tower is going to be traded. 7-4, very slight net worth lead the way of iG.V. Armlet timing is also almost up on Yukio, so that'll be a nice timing for the CK if he wants to try and get involved. But generally speaking, they'll just keep farming. I think you can get involved though. Like once the Exo's back up, you could just join your team for a quick push, especially for that tier 1 mid tower. The armlet just makes you feel so much more kind of potent as the CK.
Does provide a lot in just allowing you to stand up front. And outside of TZ having 6, you don't have to worry about the slam yet. So at least you don't have that massive wombo combo that'll hold you back here from the side of Meteor. Full Spirit Vessel up now as well in Tax. A bit of a smoke out from Meteor. They've got kind of everything ready in Echoes. He's even got the Tumbler's Toy to get in position here. So they just want to go hunting. This is a lot more activity from Meteor early on in comparison to game 1. Might find a nice one on Tax.
I mean, they may. Echoes going through the tree line, gonna have his smoke broken, will now reveal himself, but with the tumblers into the onslaught, it's gonna be quite hard for Tax to get out, though. Ooh. Kinetic Field does not hold him down, and now Tax, he's looking to turn this one around. He's got the hook off, trying to save TZ, and he will do a decent job of it. That almost went really badly, as iG.V rotated pretty much all their heroes but the CK over. But luckily they get everyone out just fine.
Yeah, they bail out in the nick of time. The hook felt like it could have worked against him as well. Another smoke out for Meteor. This one might catch the side of iG.V unexpected. They just see the smoke, it fails. They're going to try another one here with the haste. This time you can really run down with Echoes.
Oh, Yukio. He's a big one. They'll wrap around. Be very sneaky here against the CK, but Yukio seems to know something is wrong. He'll go to the more safe camp, but I can't say it's feeling quite safe at the moment. Echoes and Molasses are still there waiting. Again, with the armlet up, he's a tanky boy. It's not going to be that easy to just burst him down. So they'll leave him be. It seems like MG wanted a bit more of a squishy target. They're not going to be so lucky to find one. And while all that's been happening, Totoro now, he has the blink up on the Tiny, so he's well and truly ready to go with the Avalanche Toss combo. Mid lane, they're going to see TZ. Blink is still on the courier, but it doesn't matter because you've got DQQ to set up, and well, immediately they just pop the Exo. They want that mid tier 1 gone.
Yeah, they've got the output to kind of deal with that early on. Does show up. They've got the slam ready in Molasses. If they find a good angle, this could be some big punishment out.
Oh, hooks up the mark at Totoro. No hesitation. Throws M right into Tax, so a nice onslaught, gonna make it hard to take him down. Tax still going, Echo committed. Somehow Tax is alive, still healing up. With the siphons out, they can't stop him. Molasses is down, M is down. Now the CK shows up to that Static Storm's doing a lot of work and the stunts to come out, but he's still alive. Yukio with the armor toggles, he's going to be all right. So a 2-for-2 trade, but you got the POS 1 Pudge, you got the POS 4 Shaker. The mid-tier 1 tower does remain standing, but you know, it's pretty close to going down.
Yeah, it's not going to last too long here for the side of Meteor. I like the effort. That team fight was fairly coordinated. They got a pretty good Static Storm coming out this time, just not enough follow-through in the center. And losing early was a massive loss, not even finding Tax in exchange. So once again, the Tax man wins out, Mike. Tax never loses.
No, it doesn't. Life, death, and taxes, John. That's what they say. The Tax man always around. They'll still remain protecting that tier 1 tower, but iG.V looks like they might show them maybe a little bit of mercy. We'll see.
And all the attention for Meteor is still down mid. They want to try again. No slam, no Static Storm for a little bit longer, but they could try and they'll just play it safe. Let's head back to farming. Exo down for half a minute still, and no more charges in that Spirit Vessel. So it's going to be a little bit harder to melt down something like the Pudge when Dismember is going. And that's a little bit more sustained there, DQQ.
Oh, they're going to find the Pudge, but they'll go on to Molasses instead. DQQ right in. Nice hook, though, from M is going to save the day. Totoro could not get the full Avalanche Toss combination, and now Totoro, he's the one in danger. They'll dismember him up, drop the Static Storm, and ensure the mid-tiny's gone. SJ is able to get out. Molasses actually goes down to Tax. DQ. Oh, they found him. Beautiful hook from M. Snowball, it's only going to buy a little bit of time. Not quite enough here for the Tusk. So you get a bit of a bonus here for Meteor Gaming, finding the mid-tiny as well as that the plus 4 Tusk.
Yeah, there's just some big kills. Like, slowing down Totoro is quite huge. Just Tiny is just locked into the momentum, right? Like, you play mid-tiny, you want to just avalanche toss someone to death, doesn't quite come out. The push is ready on Mar Blue with a Familiars. No. There you go.
Oopsie
Don't
daisies.
TP in front of the Disruptor. That happens.
That happens every time. It's all right. It has allowed Molasses as well to pump up the full blink now on the Shaker. So now you've got to be worried about this Shaker with a blink up, which is never a fun time if you are the enemy team. Of course, M's going to have the Ags coming out, not quite soon, but it's getting close on the Pudge. And so I think for iG.V, things are starting to get a little bit scary. Like, you really don't feel like you've got the answers without the BKBs up on these cores.
Yeah, it's going to take time for those BKBs to get farmed, too.
They're going to try for the mid-tier 1 again here, John. No BKBs up yet. TZ may get spotted. DQQ does see him. TZ Avalanche Toss. It's going to be enough. He's gone. But he buys back immediately. They want the team fight with a big Fisher to set up here for Molasses. It's a perfect fight by the looks of it. The Echo committed as well. Everyone caught out. Yukio is going to try and mount up and fight back. He's doing a fair bit of damage, but he can't do it on his own. Now they've got the DP as well. TZ with the buyback, really paying off for his team, as M is actually going to drop on the Pudge. Tax gets a triple kill on this DP, but it's still a successful team fight to go the way of Meteor Gaming.
Does come out as a 3-for-4 with a buyback on the Disruptor, but worthwhile in the end. They'll find the mid-tier 1 for their trouble. The big objective that they've been squandering over on both sides, so equalizing the map control just a little bit more for Meteor. iG.V, they're still keen to try and going here, though.
Yeah, they'll find TZ, maybe looking for a bit of a dieback here onto the Disruptor. And the TZ, I mean, you may as well get it out of the way while you can, right? 57 seconds on the old respawn borders. Echoes. He's going to be okay to onslaught out. In some ways, as a POS 5, like, you'd rather get the dieback over and done with, honestly. That's what he does.
Yeah, because you never know when you're going to need that shorter respawn back in the next few fights, so just dying there, getting a reset, not too bad for TZ to do. iG.V for their part, it goes back to your points there, Mike. BKBs need to come out. And they are trying to rush into it. You've got the full Guardian Greaves up on Tax. That helps quite a fair bit in trying to be durable up front as well. But then you're going to be dealing into Ags and 400 gold. Not too far off for our Pudge. That's his big spike. That's when he eats through a lot of these high regen heroes. The DP's not going to feel good up against that Rot. Even the CK and his illusions will just melt as well. So you're having the answers all set up here from the side of Meteor. And iG.V are not looking too lost, but it's getting harder and harder for them to fight in without that spell immunity up and running for themselves. Like their team fight control, it's not as wide. Right? Static Storm's huge, Fissure blocks, the kinetic field. In comparison, you only have Shards, Snowball, Avalanche Toss. Nothing as consistent as what you have on Meteor here.
Here we go. 3-man smoke up. Meteor, they're going to try and... Oh, they might have a very juicy team fight here, John. Bottom lane. Molasses looking to already set up with the Echo. Not going to find the target quite, but they found Tax. That's the big one. That's the DP that's causing you so many problems right now. And he is just as good as gone. Perma lock him down. Everyone else gets out, but you really don't want to lose the DP if you could avoid it.
Yeah. I mean, didn't even get to pop the Guardian Greaves off to try to get a couple of uses from the Spirit Siphon. So you melt big core pickup for Meteor. So they pick up a 2k lead now for themselves as well. In a good position in this game. Inside of iG.V, Ukio, I believe, does have his BKB. Just needs a disassembly on the Echo Saber with a recipe flying out. Going into the Mage Slayer. The Mage Slayer is a good response to the Pudge. You know, a little bit of magic resist. They're reducing the magical output of Pudge as well. It's going to be huge. But the push is starting to kick into overdrive for Meteor. It's just Visage things. You group up, you push. Doesn't take too much.
Oh, now Totoro, he kind of revealed himself with that blink in. Tax, he's been caught by M on the Disruptor, or rather the Pudge. Exo popped. Looks like Molasses. He's going to be the first one to go down. Yukio looking for a target with his own BKB. They've actually got M down on the Pudge. This is not a good team fight at all for Meteor. I mean, they got the tier 2 tower, but it's costing them quite a bit on the way out as Blue barely able to get the TP away. Luckily for him, DQQ did not have a stun to throw. So tier 2 tower down, but a 3-man wipe here on Meteor. Pretty rough.
That's big. iG.V needs to find more kills. They sacrifice the objective, but they still have outpost control in the end. They're going to be able to get some D-wards for their trouble as well. And you keep the game in the balance, right? Like, you've got this good farm coming out from Ukio. You have a slower game for Totoro, so you kind of need this time to start catching up a little bit. The farm distribution on Meteor is very even across the board. Marblue and Echoes in line with each other in net worth. So their item timings are kind of popping off right around the same time, which is big for them. This AC for Marblue is going to be massive up against the physical core that is the CK. It's going to be harder to just burst someone down. Jumping the Visage first is also not really a tenable idea. Still, go for a smoke play now on Meteor Gaming.
Right into the Radiant Triangle they go. Yukio, that's the target they really want. His BKB literally just came off cooldown, but I believe they've got the wrong guy. They pulverize the Phantasm Illusion. Oh, so Yukio's just going to BKB TP out. Did they at least take the neutral item that was on the ground? I don't think they did.
I'm trying to see. I don't see anything that's unknown right now. So I don't think they did.
Meteor.
Into the Roshan
Well, they'll go for Roshan at least. Something still comes out of this rotation, even if you miss out on the CK kill.
Yeah. I'd say Rosh number 1 isn't the biggest thing to lose out on for iG.V. I mean, it tends to be Rosh 2 that you really don't want to give up. This is still an opening for Meteor Gaming. 2 lives and he's fairly hard to burst down, fairly durable now with a max flash heap, and the casual cloak up as well. So you do have to be cautious of the Pudge. He's starting to hit hard. At the same time, you do have the full Mage Slayer up on Ukio. So it is actually harder to kill off the CK with your mostly magical damage lineup. Like Pudge is magical, to an extent, Primal Beast is magical, Shaker's magical. So you have a lot of ways of sustaining through there.
Well, Totoro Jump in. He's got the toss back on the Visage, but nobody was there to really back him up yet. And in they come. DQQ gets the stun off. Pulverize has been committed onto the DP. They're trying to burst down the DP and they've got him. Marblu actually survives through all of this. In the meantime, Molasses ends up finding Totoro. The problem is M is dying on the Pudge very, very quickly. The Phantasm Illusions themselves just doing so much work. He's lost the Aegis. In the meantime, Totoro, he's gone way too deep, I think, as the Tiny. They are still just locking him down, and eventually they will take him out. As SJ will also die. 4 heroes gone for the side of iG.V. And Meteor Gaming, they can start even thinking about high ground if they really want. But it seems like they'll back off and just control the map instead.
It's a little bit strange coming out from iG.V. Like, they managed to get the toss on the one target that's really hard to burst, which is the Visage. Like, the guy just has way too much armor with the Brave Keepers. He's got that little cast as well that turns into stone and just kind of heals you up. Gets a good stun off, interrupts that fight. And for some reason, Ukiyo does not commit. Like, he has his BKB up. Sure, it's 7 seconds, but they commit a lot of spells early from Meteor. It felt like the CK could have run up, maybe kill a couple of the softer targets, but chooses to play it safe. So Meteor just wins a lot in that fight. They've got the fresh BKB up and now as well. So the Pudge is much harder to handle. Like, you are not just safely getting off Spirit Vessel charges on him. You're not going to be able to just burst him down with Avalanche Toss, chain stun him up. He is just going to be able to, for the most part, stand in the middle of these fights and dismember unless you specifically save your Walrus Punch just for the Pudge, which is not always possible at every single fight here for DQQ. So it's becoming a little bit harder for iG.V to take these engagements, and for Meteor, they're starting to hit those tempos. You know, they're online. They've managed to work the early to mid game really well now, 25 minutes in. iG.V aren't too far behind at 3K, but their fights have felt a lot more disoriented almost coming out here. It's just not as clean or not as coordinated as we're seeing from Meteor right now, and that's making a lot of difference here.
Oh, Tax. They love hunting this DP down. Caused them so many problems the last, throughout the last maybe 20 minutes, and now they're just constantly been catching Tax out. Bottom lane has been forced in. Totoro, though, he could get caught. M's on the chase, but won't be able to reach him. Tiny is fine. Meantime, DQQ now showing up mid lane is going to make the jump in onto TZ, forcing out the Static Storm very early on. And the snowball was going right towards the Visage anyway. So TZ got nothing, but Fisher is going to lock 2 of them down. It's a very messy engagement again. Echoes is going to make the jump in with the Pulverize now, but he's popped his BKB for this. There was no backup to it. Marblu also caught out. This is the tough target they were having. The Visage is... Oh, Molasses is just going to jump in for the freest echo of his life, but it does no damage. It's just nowhere near enough. Molasses is down. So is Marblu. M is trying to fight back the best he can, but his BKB about to wear off. He will dismember. I don't think it's going to make the difference he's looking for, as he will go down. And suddenly, it seems like Meteor Gaming have lost 4.
They run in 1 by 1. Like, they just engage 1 by 1 in.
He has Onslaught. Walrus Punch is there. Avalanche going to cancel the Onslaught. Oh, it's going to be a full team wipe. Maybe.
Oh,
Keep you away. Yeah, he's got it. Full team wipe.
Oh boy.
What's happening?
They went in 1 by 1. You know, save your buddy syndrome kicking in. It's like, all right, we can come in, we can turn this. All right, we can get the slam off. And it's all just a bait. It's just not enough output. They don't manage to get like a Static Storm in at all in that fight. They lose out on TZ too early on. And I have to say, like, Shaker is a really baity here right now. Like, that was like a very ideal slam. There was literally no damage flying out. That's just incredible. To be fair, again, Ukiyo does have the Mage Slayer, so that's already a lot of magic res on hand. And everyone else was still fairly high HP. It was like maybe a 3 or 4 man slam. No creeps around to amplify the echo damage. So it's maybe not the most ideal. And you didn't have follow through. If you had more follow through, like say, if your Pudge was immediately there on the slam with the rot up, then maybe it goes a lot differently. But again, it's a staggered fight, and iG.V just wins out because they're in position to punish that one by one streaming in. So the gold lead nullified to less than 1K.
That's the sad thing about the Shaker, like, and it feels like this. It's been like this for over a year now, like maybe even longer. Where it's like Fisher is his main thing, right? It's like Echo Slam just does nothing anymore. It's just a follow-up stun. Unless you land like a huge 5-man without any defensive items on the enemy team, it just doesn't do any damage. It's just pretty sad. You know, it's like I've been making this argument where I feel like there's just too many defensive items in the game now. You know?
Yeah.
There's just too much. There's just too much defensive items. Like,
yeah,
get rid of them. Get rid of some of them.
Yeah, I still feel like Rate Pack deserves a deletion notice, even though it's been nerfed to the ground. There's some specific games where it turns physical cores into garbage. It just actually feels really bad. I think that's one reason why some melee cores are not viable, although there's more reasons on top of that. Meteor, they'll try a smoke play. This time they can get to jump in. But there's a good ward to watch when the smoke breaks.
Yeah, they're under vision. They're going to wrap around. Not a safe fight, though, for sure. It seems like iG.V are very well aware. Echo's jumping in. BKB already, but they got the Glimmer Cape, or rather the Shadow Blade off, so he's fine. M's going to try instead to go onto the Tusk. He's going to pop his own BKB, so DQQ's in big trouble, but he'll go into the Snowball as they found the Visage. Marblue is gone. That's the fight. Nobody else wants to fight anymore. Just everything was very just messy. This TZ, caught with the Avalanche, is at least going to get the glimpse off. So Totsuro could not go for the toss back, but nevertheless, it really does seem like a matter of if this Visage is dead, we cannot fight. The fight is over.
Yeah. He provides a lot of counter control. He provides a lot of attention to himself. Like, he baits out spells. If you manage to use the Gravekeeper's active, and suddenly you're wasting time. You have an opportunity to counter here on the side of Meteor. They don't manage to flank in properly. Like, they jump in, but some of the supports were way far back. Like, no Storm coming out from TZ once more. That's your key control, the setup for everyone else. And you're just not able to reach out here on that Disruptor. Granted, you minimize your losses there as well on the side of Meteor, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Woo. Unless you lose more.
DQQ almost took that ceremonial robe off him. That was a very, very close call for that one. I think DQQ actually just wanted it for himself, and well, he was probably half a second away from taking it.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. Oh, that's one of those satisfying moments when you pick up a random neutral. Your enemy just leaves alone. It doesn't happen. Instead, you feed. But it's all right. You're a Disruptor. You're not worth as much. 346 plus 117. Okay, you're worth a decent amount. And the Ags is now fully up for Totoro. So, pre-volley shenanigans in play. Just needs the Daedalus to really feel good about that. That's one way to, again, just rip apart the side of Meteor. They don't really have a lot of armor on. At least, he's only at the 7 base, plus the damage block on the Vanguard. And the Flesh Heap active, so it's a little bit rough for him to survive through once the Daedalus is up here.
Oh, mid lane. It could be a big fight to break out. MG thinking about it. Still grouped up on the other side of that mid lane. Both sides seem very well aware of their own positions. AC now up on Marbleu. That should help the side of Meteor Gaming, especially against the amount of damage the CK is pumping out. Blue, he's going to show himself. He's trying to bait them forward. Totsuro, though, he gets the toss back onto the creep wave. It's not going to be enough, but he's got his own BKB, so he's going to be all right. As he gets the Dismember off. He'll save the Visage and disengage. They force the Exo plus the BKBs, and that seems to be all they wanted for now. They will go right back in afterwards. Can they actually catch anyone, though? iG.V is still hanging around, still having a bit of time with the Exo to fight back. They have found the Visage once again. Marbleu will be targeted. They lock him down permanently and he is gone. Yukio gets the job done. Meteor, maybe they went a little bit too early. As he does find DQQ, but he's going to get out. His BKB wearing off. He will barely make it. The TZ will not. TZ is gone. I thought to myself they would at least wait for the Exorcism to wear off before they try to force a fight like that. But they kind of just went back in, and iG.V said, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I think they were expecting an immediate swing to Roche from iG.V, and to be fair, they were actually running into that pit. So they need to contest right then to break it off, but it's an all-in gambit. It fails. Roche number 2, the much bigger Roshan to take here. For the side of iG.V, this should enable even maybe a high ground siege, if not just the tier 2s, to come out here. The free shard onto Ukyo as well. So more range on that Chaos Vault, a little bit of an illusion coming out with a lot of damage output. Pretty scary to have, considering how spammable it is for the CK as well on a 7-second cooldown. So gonna be a lot scarier. 4K lead coming out for iG.V now, 28-20. And the side of iG.V, they've had a good idea of what to do in this game. Just constantly target down Marblue. Take out the soul assumption spam, take out the stall mechanics with the Gravekeepers active, and just clean up from there.
They're doing a great job of it. Like, just getting rid of all the auras as well, right? Like, this is just the auras themselves are just so annoying to have to deal with. Let's get rid of those, and suddenly you feel a lot stronger. You see how desperately Meteor Gaming are trying to just protect the Visage this whole game. Just do not let that man die in the team fights. On the other side of things, though, they're also baiting with said Visage. So it's a very interesting kind of conundrum, right? Because you got to bait with the guy, but at the same time, you don't want him to die. Otherwise, the fight's just over, apparently, according to Meteor, as they are going to try for a hook onto Totoro. Totoro will have his team to back him up in just a moment, and here they come. Ukyo with the Silver Edge is going to rush right through, but he is underneath the Sentry Ward right now, so they should have seen him. Dust is there from Molasses. They've locked him down. The CK hooked as well. Ukyo should drop. He'll try to fight here. It looks like he gets the stun off onto M, but should eventually fall and will. That's the first life. Meanwhile, in the back, it seems like they found Echoes on the Primal, but he's just going to onslaught away as M does try to hold down Ukyo, but he got the BKB off. He's going to go for the man fight. He found Marblue again in the Visage, but the Snowfall was there. Marblue is okay. Ukyo is forced to back off. They will pop the Exorcism on Tax, but it's really only going to be for this tier 2 mid tower. So I say that. Totoro, huge tree volley. He got 3 targets with that. Oh, he just destroys them. Marblue, he was safe earlier. Not so much anymore. Marblue is gone. That was a huge play from Totoro.
That was insane. He blinks forward, gets the avalanche, gets a tree volley, cleans up, and EXO is still running. Not for that much longer as it fades out, but they should still be able to find this tier 3. Fortify down, they'll have a refresh for the racks, but they don't have anyone to defend. And they're trying to cut down bot. Echo is just pushing where he can to mitigate that damage, but they'll actually fort for the racks. Respawns are fairly short. You do not have Slam on the respawn. You do not have Static Storm. It doesn't feel like he can do as much anyway. iG.V, they'll just find 2 further trouble.
Yeah, they will. Molasses. I mean, he's going to try and delay things as much as humanly possible, but it's a pretty rough affair right now. In fact, iG.V, I mean, considering the state of the game now, they might... I was going to say they might consider the 3rd racks, but they're going to leave it at that. All of Meteor Gaming are coming back up and online, and I suppose you don't want to try and force a fight in the base, though. Ukyo, he's sticking around this mid lane. They'll take the outpost and maybe just try to secure the next Roshan. They've got a 13k advantage now, and with 2 racks up, you're going to be feeling a lot better about this game too. Yeah. And the thing is now as well, like with this mid Tiny, considering he has a full Daedalus up, now you've basically got a secondary carry in your team, because that tree volley, it really hurts.
Yeah, it's a lot of output. And I love that. We first saw this in China in like what, 2018, 2019? When you had Morphling that could turn into your ally Tiny, both with Ags. Oh, you're never going to see that again. I missed that, Mike.
Yeah, I wish there was I could remember what game it was, so I could look back at the VOD. Is Marblue? Oh, he's the big one. Gets into that stone form, the hook. It actually goes into a Phantasm Illusion, so he's kind of trapped in the middle of nowhere right now. M's the one to get caught out. The punch can't afford to die, but he's gone. No buyback available. So is Marblue. He has no buyback either. Molasses also being chased down as Totoro gets TZ. 4 down, 1 left with buyback. That might actually just be it. There's no way to defend. They call it. A real shame for Meteor, because that's 2 games in a row where it felt like they were ahead by quite a bit. And sadly for them, iG.V just proved to be the better team once he hit the mid game.